What is going on, my friends? Welcome to an exclusive here on the Arrington Gavn show. This is a bit out of the ordinary. I know you're like, wait a minute. Today's Thursday. Yes, it is. It's currently Thursday around 7:01 to be exact, May 9th. Thank you so much for tuning in to this exclusive here on the Arrington Gavn show. Thank you for all those supporters who continue to tune into this program. We continue to grow every time. Again, we normally drop new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. For you audio listeners out there, if you prefer to listen to us via podcast, we drop new podcasts Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via iHeartRadio, Odyssey, Spotify, Apple, Google. I've already said iHeartRadio. Wherever you can listen to your podcast, you can tune into the program. And if you prefer to watch us, the video version of this program, you can do so. New episodes drop on those exact same days as you see scrolling at the bottom at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media, the letter R, and then Smooth Club Media. Also on Rumble at the Arrington Gavn Show, X, RSC Media on X, and then also R Smooth Club Podcast on Facebook. So for those who are tuning in right now, I truly thank you because look, like I mentioned, it's an exclusive and it was titled The Big Announcement. And you're probably wondering, like, what is the big announcement, Arrington? What is it? Because everybody's been hitting up my phone, texting me like, bro, what is it? I'm like, nah, you're just gonna have to tune in. You're just gonna have to tune in. To kind of talk a little more why I'm doing this currently. A good friend of mine reached out to me earlier this week and said, hey, I have a client that wants to make a big announcement. And, we could have gone to any other media outlet here in the area. But, we said, look, I have somebody in mind. Let's put it on the Arrington Gavn show. So I feel very honored because, again, y'all, this is a very independent grassroots program. We continue to grow every time. I believe recently we just hit a little over 100 episodes here on this program. And this is awesome because all I am is just having a simple conversation with you, my friends, the listeners, the viewers, and just learning amongst those conversations. We have fun all the time. We speak on trending news. We discuss thought-provoking topics from the fields of politics, sports, pop culture, and so much more. But again, this is all organic. We just all like to have a great conversation and just very, very excited. So I want to speak a little bit about my special guest that I'll be bringing on right now. She served as a delegate in the Virginia House of Delegates for the 85th district, representing part of Virginia Beach from 2018 to 2020. She's an educator. She currently teaches advanced placement environmental science. Let me tell you something. When I was in school, I was definitely not the science kid. Okay, I struggled in science. I loved my science teachers, loved them to death. But boy, when I tell you it was like environmental science, oceanography, this and that, I'm just like, this is some difficult work. So I say that to say this is a very intelligent individual right here that we have coming on this program. Like I said before, she served state office here. I always give props to whoever. I mean, regardless of party affiliation, whatever side you're on, because as you know, I'm an independent. I'm friends with everybody. I'm friends with everybody. When it comes to building up a community, especially knowing what's happening in your backyard and in your state, you have to just get involved and come together and stop making it a whole like back and forth thing. But she served on a state office, and that is something that not a lot of people can say they've done. It's easy to complain about things, right? It's easy to complain about, oh, this happened in your area, or this happening and that and this, but best believe we're not going to be the ones. Well, you should run for office. Nope. I got other things to do. I ain't got time for that. Nope. So I'm very excited to bring on this special guest, former Delegate Cheryl Turpin. Delegate Turpin, how are you doing?
I am doing amazing. And first of all, I just want to take a moment and say thank you.
Oh man, no, thank you. Like I mentioned before, you could have gone to any media outlet, here in the Hampton Roads area and really just abroad, but you decided to come here on this program. So I truly thank you, especially taking the time out your busy schedule to come on this program. So just thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I've mentioned earlier that my guest has a big announcement they would like to put out. I think by now, would you like to just start the show with with that announcement? Because everybody they're biting their fingernails. They're like, I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
Right. Well, I am running to be mayor of our fine city of Virginia Beach.
Wow.
Here we go. Yeah.
Folks, that is the big announcement right there. You've heard it here first here on the Arrington Gavn Show. Former delegate Sharon Turpin has entered the mayoral race for the city of Virginia Beach. Now, former delegate Turpin, I would like to ask first and foremost, you're an educator, you are a teacher. Since the last time you've been in office was around 2020, but you have entered in other races before. You ran for state senator. You won the primary. You ran at the time against former Congresswoman, now Congresswoman Jen Kiggins. But you ran for state senator, and then after that, you ran for council. But you did drop out to focus on a more personal matter. May I ask why now, in this busy race that we're having right now? Why say, okay, instead of being supportive on one of these candidates involved in this race, I'm gonna step in the race myself?
So when I was in my teacher education program a while ago, everybody in the teacher education program wanted to wear the t-shirt that said, I teach at the beach, because there was excitement, there was movement in the city, and truly everybody I knew was applying to work in the city of Virginia Beach Public Schools. And that's not the case it is now. We've lost that excitement in the city. We've lost the desire to have people, to serve in education. And we've got to do a little bit better job. Recently, we've lost nearly 10,000 of our population. Since 2020, we've lost nearly 10,000 people. And people like, what does that matter? It matters because it impacts our state and federal subsidies to the amount of nearly $10 million. So that's not a tax. That's not a burden on our population. That's losing population. And I think we need to do a better job of creating a really strong educational system. We know that families look to education and the quality of the education to determine where you're going to live. And I think that would be the key to moving us forward as a city. So I'd like to bring that excitement and what is necessary to create the desire, a good public school system, and a strong desire to live here in the beach.
That's really awesome. You kind of answered my next question, because you being an educator, how can a teacher know how to really help build and help kind of change what's going on in Virginia Beach? How does a teacher say, okay, look, I'm the person for that role, rather than somebody that just has, you do have experience in, office in politics. So like, how does a teacher adjust and bring that into the city?
So the classroom has changed quite a bit since 2020.
Yes, absolutely.
When COVID came in, we had to set up our desks exactly 6 feet apart. They all had blue dots. We had to teach kids what counterclockwise means, because because we could only release half of the school building at one time. So the kids never saw each other in the hallways. So part of the problem was these kids felt very isolated in the classroom. Even when they moved to their next class, they were very isolated. Every 5 minutes to move, then the next set moved, then the next set moved. And it was hard on them. And so when 2022, the school year started, all of those restrictions ended. And I have never seen students be so excited to see each other. And they overcame this difficulty of isolationism just to hug their friends and to be able to literally sit at the same desk with them. So as a mayor, you need to be aware of what the future generation has dealt with.
Absolutely.
What does the future mean to these kids? And they're graduating this year. My first group of 2020 kids are graduating. I love those little kids. So we want to see a future for these kids, that they can stay here in the city, be productive members of our society. And who better than a teacher who's learned what is diversity, how do we move, within our own system to make sure that everybody feels included.
I think that's very true, Delegate, because like you mentioned, the children, it's like the song, I believe the children are our future. The children are our future, right? And
Did Whitney
everything,
Houston?
that's shout out to Whitney.
Shout
That
out to Whitney.
and that what you see in schools is what is currently, that's what our current society right now. So you seeing the involvement, the adjustment, and my father is an educator as well. So I remember like during the pandemic, he was propping up his lights, camera, action. I'm like, look at you over here, got your podcast going. He's like, no, I'm teaching it. It was so funny because it's just like, oh, I gotta get up and teach and stuff. Like he always acts like he's a somewhat of a Archie Bunker or George, but he loves the kids and they love him back. So it was always this funny scene. But it was an adjustment because you don't really know what's happening, when it occurs, what goes on in like students, lives, their household, thing like that. So they look forward to interacting with their classmates, interacting with their teachers, coming to school. So that was a huge adjustment happening.
That 2020 group to this day comes and sits in my classroom and we have lunch together every day. Every day they come in. I've got seating for 30. I have a couple standing in the corner. Everybody wants to know what everybody else is doing. Right now, I'm saying, what's your future? What are you doing after June 14th? What is it that you foresee? How can I help you? I've got connections. People don't understand. I have really strong connections in the community. Tell me what it is you think your future looks like. Let me tell you about whatever it is that your future needs are.
Absolutely. Well, look, Delegate, this mayoral race, before you've made this announcement, this mayoral race has been quite publicized in the local community. I mean, for months, right? You have current incumbent Bobby Dyer, who's running up for, running for re-election. You have Councilman Chris Taylor, who is running for mayor. He's somewhat of a he's someone still new to local office, but he's decided to enter into that mayoral race. Councilwoman Sabrina Wooten running as running in this race, and then also former councilman John Moss. Again, with this race still being so packed with a lot of candidates, why should residents of Virginia Beach say, okay, look, this is what I'm going to get out of a Cheryl Turpin vote for mayor? What's going to be the benefit for me? Because I think a lot of residents now, and it's just with the times of politics in general, whether if it's local, state, or federal, a lot of residents and voters are saying, man, this is going to be a wasted vote for me. Like, does my vote really matter, right? A lot of people, certain voting turnout either increases or it decreases. It increases, decreases. They're like, okay, we're getting a lot of unmade promises. We're tired. We're exhausted. This is just too much. What's your take on that? What can people, what can residents who, say vote for a Cheryl Turpin for mayor, what do they get out of that?
Well, so first of all, the field is crowded. It's crowded with 4 Republicans that all feel that they need to replace Bobby Dyer. There's 1 Democrat running in this race. I mean, I'm an elected Democrat, so I can't hide the fact that
you mean you're a
right.
What?
And that's so truly Democrats need at least one candidate that they know up front, straight to their face, that yes, I am a Democrat. And again, I think with my skill sets as a teacher, being able to embrace change and to flow and to bring excitement to the office, I think that's why you vote for me.
I love it. I would like to also ask, Virginia Beach, for one, being the largest city population wise in the state of Virginia, it's one of probably the most, I think, money driven cities out in the 7 cities. There's so many activities. There's festivals galore. There's this, there's that happening. What's your take on leadership in Virginia Beach? Because I mean, from the outside looking in, they're like, Virginia Beach is, not bad. I mean, it's pretty pricey to live, in, but I mean, it's not bad. So what's your take on the leadership? And is that another, reason of you joining this race?
So again, let me go back to, I see the future of our city every single day in my classroom. Every single day I look at them. I teach 9th graders. what do you want the city to look like? How do you want to feel included? And I teach all types of students, and we need to be cognizant that there are more than one or two types of people living in the city. Mm-hmm. And we need to reach out and make sure every single person feels included. When I talked to my girls after Myra Obendorf passed away, mm-hmm. you know what my kid said? That's the mayor. She read to us. I remember her coming into our classroom. Mm. We have a library named after the woman who read books to kids. And that speaks highly of what a mayor should be, that you're remembered for being kind and to being outreached. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, I think we need to bring excitement back. I think we need to make sure that a whole variety of people feel like their needs are being met.
Wow. Another question, a delegate that I want to ask, being a former state delegate, which is a much higher position than a local city position, why not push the envelope and run for higher office than to come to local? Because I mean, obviously, you know, on a state level, you can make some quite big of a difference for your community. So why not either say go back to House of Delegates or run for a higher office?
Because I believe our mayor needs to have strong connections with the people working in Richmond. Who better than a former delegate to be able to say, this is what we need, and this is what we need you, the state government, to do on our behalf. You know, we worked hard, we, passed budgets, so I know how budgets are determined. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I don't know how to govern.
Mm-hmm. Great. Awesome. I would like to ask another question, but I kind of want to, let's dive down from the political talk. And I just want to, ask, like, you being a teacher right now, I know this graduation season. Have you already attended some graduations or,
So it's as a mama, it's been a very, very exciting time. So my youngest daughter just defended her doctoral dissertation in March. And just a week ago, graduated with her PhD in microbiology from the University of Florida.
Wow, so, that is awesome. That is
awesome. Talk about one proud mama. One proud mama. And really, what a great Mother's Day gift. Nothing
I know that's right.
than a big fat PhD behind your name to go, I did it, mama.
I know that's right. And that has to really just warm your heart, because seeing the hard work, for one, your students, and then seeing your kids continue to, because I just finished helping my nephew, who just finished his sophomore year, is still an undergrad at Old Dominion. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, man, I remember when you were like this, and now you're,
absolutely.
It's like, it blows my mind, but it's so awesome, because I have a nephew that just finished his sophomore year over at Old Dominion. I have a niece that just finished her freshman year at Howard University. So it's very exciting time seeing, just continued growth.
Correct. And she, again, is one of those students that started in the fall of 2019,
Oof.
Who then 2020 came, and everything was virtual. She had to teach a microbiology class virtually. They sent the microscopes to the students. She's trying to teach microbiology. It's one of her, duties, being on there by Zoom. And they're like taking the little samples out of the freezer. She's like, all right, let's warm those up and let's get them onto the micro. Yeah. So that young woman did what I'm amazed at. She taught the lab science virtually.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I can't imagine, like, I love kids, don't get me wrong. And my wife and I, we're still newlyweds. We'll be celebrating 2 years in September. We have a dog, which is a huge responsibility for us.
Amen.
Of course, my mother, she's like, well, after a dog, with that leash. So I'm like, I know, I don't know, Mom. I really don't. I say all that to say it's a very difficult job being an educator, especially in today's times. You're very well needed, but it's a job that still, to me, teachers are very underfunded. It's a job that doesn't get the proper due diligence and the flowers that they deserve, because it's a struggle, especially, teaching virtual and then just teaching in general, because those kids, they come with so many different personalities, so different styles, so different teaching methods. That is hard. That's hard of its own.
It's a struggle. And really what the city of Virginia Beach needs to do is to pay and give proper compensation to educators, we're losing educators over to other cities like Chesapeake.
Wow.
It's the free market value there, and we're losing good teachers. And it's important that our teachers understand and that our public understands that having a seat at the table to be able to express your concerns without jeopardy of losing your job is what collective bargaining is all about. It's a conversation, and we really need to present it better. That, that's the foundation of collective bargaining. How can I help you make my job better without fear of losing my job?
I'm so glad you brought collective bargaining, because that was going to be my next question coming back to this race.
Right.
When it recently, Virginia Beach is very big on collective bargaining. Now, the city had came to a 5-5 vote with one member abstaining. How would how would you vote on collective bargaining? Because this was a huge issue. I remember I have a lot of friends from all the cities, and we all in different groups, and they're talking about, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that here? What's up?
Right.
And I won't mention the name of the council member that had abstained, because they that individual got a lot of criticism because collective bargaining had been an ongoing thing, right? That individual, even I think in her campaign, was big on collective bargaining, things in that nature. So what's your take on that?
Right. So I've sat on the VBEA local Educator Association Political Action Committee. And so I know the questions that are asked, and I know how people answer them. And to have people say that they just didn't understand the issue. And let me just say, I'm a little disappointed. It is an important space for us to be able to have a conversation. It's nothing truly more than a conversation at a table without fear of losing your job. And how people have wrapped it up into anything other than that. There's a teacher who is an English language specialist who works with elementary students. And she went to, I think it was 5 or 7 different elementary schools. And she never once had the opportunity to sit with the teacher and say, how can I help you? Because, and that's a conversation that should have been made at a table with security to be able to say, I can't do all this. I think it was 5. It was a lot of elementary schools, and she never had the opportunity. And that really, as the general ed teacher of people with English as a secondary language, it's important that I get the support of the specialist. But she just could never find the time to do that. That's a conversation that needs to be had, and it needs to be had in such a way that she's not fear of retribution of losing her job.
Wow.
And that's what collective bargaining is.
That is so spot on, because I always come across this theme of conversation. Conversation is, if we just sit down and have a conversation, it's starting to be spoken about now on a local level, on a state, on a higher level. If we just have a conversation, and I think that's another thing that kind of pulls away from voters when they talk about politics, because it's never really a conversation. You try, and then nothing ever occurs, and they run away from conversation. With you, Delegate, as mayor, are you going to be big on having those conversations with your council, with individuals, because there's going to be sides that's not going to always agree with you, and that's a hard position to be in that leadership role. I've
sat in many situations where it's been uncomfortable for everyone, and we all eventually get there. Teachers build collaboration. It's what we do every day. We sit down, we collaborate, we hear each other out, we come up with a collective, this is what's in the best interest. I can agree that this is good, you can agree that that's good, and we can have a conversation. We collaborate, we build what is awesome, we build what is great.
That is awesome. So I would like to talk a little more on your platform. What are you going to be advocating for as mayor? Because hey, it's been heard here first, folks. The huge announcement of former delegate Cheryl Turpin announcing her run. She will be entering the race for Virginia Beach City Mayor, a race that is already filled with a lot of candidates. But hey, she served on state legislative before. and served it well. You did some awesome things up there. And so what would you be advocating for, with your platform running for mayor?
Again, we advocate for strong educational program. When we build a strong program where teachers feel able to communicate without fear of losing their jobs, we build it, we make it amazing. And then what happens is people begin to come back to the city. Mm-hmm. And then we begin to build our population. Our population then begins to bring in more state and federal mandates. So it's education, I think, is key. And we've got to really stop the bleed of teachers from Virginia Beach to other school divisions. We know that economic growth is important. We can do that again through public education. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that everybody has a voice in how things are determined.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then environmental tourism. We have the largest beachfront. Let me rephrase that. One of the largest, if not the largest, beachfronts on the East Coast. And we need to make sure that it's utilized and to ecotourism, make sure that tourists know that they can go to a farm and they could go from farm to parks, to the bay, to the ocean, that tourism should be all inclusive of all the great things that makes Virginia Beach amazing.
That is very awesome. I'm glad you said that, because I have family. My my father and stepmother, they have a timeshare, because they don't live in Virginia, but they have a timeshare on the oceanfront. And whenever they bring the family down, they come to the oceanfront. And my nieces and my nephew, they're getting older, and it's like, well, we do the same thing over and over and over again, because they're not from Virginia. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are so many great things that the city of Virginia Beach does offer.
Right. We have one of the largest farmers market in the state that's city run, and it has lots of opportunities to buy local crafted and locally grown products. It's a rarity. We need to do a better job of making sure people know that's available. We know that we have amazing organic farms going out. We know that the aquarium is building this extraordinary tower where you can go up and you can see the city and the ocean from the top of the tower, and you can walk down or you can ride a slide down. I mean, we have lots of venues that we can promote into ecotourism.
You mentioned something on making sure that residents and tourists know about this information, because me being I'm a Chesapeake guy, and I've spoken with I have close friends that are running for a local office here in the city of Chesapeake, and they speak on being a voice for the people, because a lot of residents don't know. They're unaware of what occurs amongst city officials, right? I think they see sometimes everything is kind of behind closed doors, and it's there's some people that do want to put it out there for residents to listen, to know what's happening. Are you big as far as just being a voice for the people of Virginia Beach, so they won't feel so?
Absolutely. I've taught lots of kids. I can speak to lots of people in lots of different ways. I can make sure that everyone knows what's available in Virginia Beach. I look forward to attending the little things in life, like going to the high school musicals. I went to First Colonial's musical on Sunday, and it was amazing. That's awesome. And as mayor, I look forward to attending other productions and other events, and recognizing when schools have reached their 65th year of service to the city. There are lots of cities that are doing various things.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Well, Delegate, we are coming to that time, but I'm having too much fun. I don't want the conversation to end. But I would like to ask, for one, as the public knows, hey, again, I want to repeat, former Delegate Cheryl Turpin has announced that she will be entering the mayoral race for the city of Virginia Beach. She has served, like I mentioned before, on state delegate, and I'm very excited. Again, I thank you for coming here on this program, Delegate. How can people continue to support your campaign, hear more about your platform? How can people continue to follow up with you?
Well, I'll get to that in just a second, but really, when we build public policy, we build personal policy, and all public policy should have meaning to all individuals. and not just any one group, but everybody should feel included. Small business in our city is a big deal. And I talked to lots of different groups and lots of different individual small businesses, and they tell us that there are some regulations that are a little overbearing. So we need to really reevaluate some of those. And the last thing is, in our public schools, we do have, some mental health issues, and we need to really know that students did struggle through COVID. And sometimes I'm the world's best hugger. And even kids new to the building go, my friend said I could get some animal crackers at your room. I said, I always have animal crackers. Did you miss the bus? I missed the bus. And I said, well, here, let me give you a scoop of animal crackers and a hug and get you to class.
I'm sorry. Does that only go for students? Because I'm just saying, I like animal crackers and I like a hug too.
Right. The first time I meet you, we can count on that. Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me rephrase that. Not meet you, but meet you person to person.
That's right. That's right.
I'm a hugger, and the kids feel the love. And our website, it'll be up soon. Awesome. And our Facebook page is up and coming, and we will get it to you as quickly as we can.
Awesome. Well, please, Delegate, keep me posted. You're always invited here on this program. I thank you for choosing the Arrington Gavn Show as the platform to make this huge announcement. I want to wish you nothing but luck, because after speaking with you, I hear your passion, your heart for the community. Again, you've already made the effort to take a leap of faith in politics, and you said, well, you know what? I'm gonna take a leap of faith on a state level. Like, that's something I really want people to understand. Like, people normally will just join a small committee right under your council, not even city council. You said, no, I want to get higher than that, and you did, and you accomplished that. And again, you're an educator. An educator alone is one of the hardest jobs, probably the hardest jobs outside of being a mother. Outside, right next to being a mother, and then on top of that, you're now coming back into politics, running for mayor. So I just want to say, like, you deserve a vacation. That's what I just want to say right there. You deserve a vacation. It's getting warmer outside.
Sunday off.
You'll take Sunday off. Awesome.
Mother's Day.
That's right. Well, look, and I hope you have an awesome Mother's Day. And again, please keep us posted with your campaign. Best of luck to you. I want to just announce one more time before we end this. Former delegate Cheryl Turpin has announced, ladies and gents, that she will be entering the mayoral race for City of Virginia Beach, a race that has current incumbent Mayor Bobby Dyer, Councilman Chris Taylor, Councilwoman Sabrina Wooten, former Councilman John Moss, and now former Delegate Cheryl Turpin. So I truly appreciate, Delegate, you taking the time out your schedule here to discuss and to share a little bit more of your platform, which you're going to be advocating for. I do have a lot of listeners from the Virginia Beach area that I'm pretty sure that's going to be, tuning and looking forward to the website, some of your events that you'll be having, all that great stuff. And I truly thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Again, Arrington, thank you. This has been a pleasure. And oh my gosh, I felt so at home. So thank you.
Like I said, it's organic conversation. I will never ever want to be that individual. It's like, all right, what did you say when you did this one? Like we were playing around with the lighting efforts. Like, I feel like I'm getting interrogated. Please don't feel like you're being interrogated.
Again, I probably taught half of your watchers.
Hey, probably they're gonna be like, is that who I think it is?
They're gonna say, I know that face. Yeah, absolutely.
Animal crackers and a hug. Yes, I remember.
That's me. Absolutely.
I'm placing my reservation for that hug and animal crackers. I just want to point that out
I will always have animal crackers in the emergency kit just in case I run into you.
Awesome. Well, Delegate, you have a good one. Take care. God bless, and we'll be talking soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gents, again, the announcement, there's the big announcement right there, okay? I'll put it right out there. That's the big announcement. Former Delegate Cheryl Turpin has made the announcement that she will be running to be the next mayor of Virginia Beach. A very competitive race, race involving multiple candidates. But, after talking with her, after hearing her reasoning, after hearing her platform, an educator. I mean, come on, advocate for educators. And she said it best. She sees the change and the transition that's going on in our local communities, in our society every day. Because, like we mentioned, shout out to Whitney Houston. she said, I believe the children are our future, and they are. So what an awesome conversation. Again, I'm still pinching myself. I'm not really gonna pinch myself hard, but hey, they considered our show for that. So y'all take care. God bless. I will see y'all on Friday for another new episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays for new episodes, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast. So wherever you listen to your podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Odyssey, Apple, so many platforms you can listen to our podcast on. Also, we are honored to be a part of it. There's a Black content creating app called Haiti, Hayti. So you'll listen to podcasts like Club Shay Shay, hosted by Shannon Sharp, the Black Effect Podcast Network that's owned by Charlemagne the God of the Breakfast Club, as well as yours truly, the Arrington Gavin Show. And if you prefer to watch the video version of this platform, you can do so every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. You see scrolling down at the ticker down there at 5 p.m. On our YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media, on the at Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show, Facebook at R Smooth Club Podcast, and on RSC Media on X. And don't go anywhere, because also I got some more information. Saturdays and Sundays you can catch reruns of the show. Airs Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on ESP TV on Facebook, and ErnestSmithProductions.com. Guys, we continue to grow this show. I've had conversations with some radio stations about this program, bringing it to radio, to the airway. So I'm very excited about that. And outside of the Hampton Roads area. So I'm very blessed to see the show grow. And do me a favor, tune in every Sundays to my weekly radio show in your city, hosted by myself, along with my good friends, comedian Ciroc Fox and hustle queen Miss Michelle Young. That airs every Sundays at noon, 12 p.m. on WNSB 91.1 FM, the soul of VA. Y'all take care. God bless. I'll see y'all next time.